I just got back from Singapore, from our Southern Siege Drive, and on my way back, my Aston Martin light up the check engine light. So at first I was like, oh dear, what's up? And then the message came out on the other side, which is the exclamation mark, and then it says emission system service required. So I was like, so it's the exhaust stuff, maybe some sensor in the exhaust, or maybe the O2 sensor. Basically, the only bad thing that come out from that might only be dirtier emissions, or higher fuel consumption. But as I drove back from Singapore, I mean, I pulled a bit of a joke because I still have like half a tank left when I was in Singapore, because apparently the Aston is quite fuel efficient. From KL to JB or Singapore, it uses up probably half a tank, depending on traffic, right? It uses up about half a tank. Now, of course, it has a very large fuel tank. It is 90 liters, but using 45 liters from here to JB is considered very fuel efficient, all right? So as I was coming back, I still have half a tank left because we didn't drive much in Singapore. It's just to Dempsey Hill and then to Linky Road, and that's it. So I was like, hey, let's do a little bit of fun thing. Let's go and refuel the car in Singapore, and then while we're doing it, I try to shake the car, like some Singaporeans. And it's a joke, all right. It's just to have fun, And most of the time when Malaysians make fun of Singaporeans don't mind because they know they are richer, they know they're better. But basically, Singaporeans don't mind, It's the Malaysians we are the ones that are sensitive, But anyway, so it was a bit of a laugh. So I filled it up full tank with that V-Power Nitro, or what do you guys call it in Singapore? We call it V-Power Racing, but I think in Singapore it's called V-Power Nitro. Anyway, and then we crossed back to JB, and then it was then my check engine light came up, and then it was really heavy rain, and it took me close to 8 hours because first of all I was exhausted. I'm absolutely knackered, and so I went into every single alternate rest house, be it it's a big R&R or a stop by, because I'm just so tired. I turned in every single one and then slept for a while, buy some coffee and all that. It was a struggle coming back. I reached home about I reached home at 12:00 something, technically the next day. So when I saw the check engine light, I thought I'm gonna have a high fuel consumption, because that sometimes will happen, because if your sensor in your exhaust can't measure the parameters, or the I don't know what gas is there, they might not be able to give the correct instructions to the engine to fire correctly, blah blah blah. But then when I got home, I used up like almost 45, 50 liters. Yeah, I think about there as well. It's a little bit more because there's a lot of stop and go traffic. So I use like half tank, a little bit more than half tank. All right, in the Aston. Then this morning got up this car. Ding ding! Surprise! There's also a check engine light here, but the car completely drives normal. There are absolutely no changes to the way it fires or anything. So I suspect it is also some kind of minor problem. But the thing with this, you need, for those of you who think that European cars, the thing is this: in Europe, labor is so expensive, mechanics charges so much that you cannot afford to send your car in, let them slowly diagnose your car, check this and that. It's impossible. It's gonna cost a bomb to do that. So you need to know specifically what went wrong with your car, what the computer says, and then you go in there, get that done, and that's it. That's why European cars comes with a lot of sensors to tell you that they have detected something or something is wrong and all that, which is a very good thing, because Japanese cars don't put in that many sensors to detect what has gone wrong. They don't. And they have a shorter service interval, so a lot of things are actually swept under the blanket or the carpet, and during the 5,000 oil change interval, they get it done with. All right, so don't be afraid of check engine lights. Sometimes if your fuel cap isn't closed tight, that will also come up because of the pressure. All right, so anyhow, I'm heading over to SISMA. I did not book an appointment this round. I just like, hey, I have time because I have a meeting that was cancelled. So I'm just gonna drive my car there and let them have a look at it. Alright, since the last round of major service was done over there, it's not fair for me to bring this over to Prestige. My BMW is in Prestige. That is a long thing that I always drag, is my seat belts, because the 6 Series the 6 Series doesn't have a B-pillar seatbelt mechanism. Most of the times, our cars, right, we have our seatbelts mounted in B-pillar, and these are mass-produced in great numbers, so they can just buy it off the rack and fit into their cars. But the 6 Series, because it's a convertible, so there's no B-pillar, so the seatbelt mechanism is actually integrated into the seat. So it is a different mechanism, less used or less not as mass produced, so in smaller numbers, so there won't be that many generational updates to that mechanism. So I presume that's the reason, because that car, since about 1.5 years ago, the seatbelts began to be, they get stuck sometimes. Sometimes it's very difficult to pull it out. Sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't. And there's also another problem. The seat belt itself, the belt itself, easily gets flipped and rolled back inside. So I've dragged on that thing for a year plus, because every time I was like, oh my god, it's stuck, I'm gonna bring it to the workshop, and then it works for the next 1 month or 2 months, and then it got stuck again, things like that. So this round I'm like, I'm just gonna, since my Aston is back, I have 2 cars, then and this one is done, so I sent the BMW in to get the seatbelt mechanism either serviced or replaced. But I suspect it's not that easy to get any OEM parts for that, because like I mentioned earlier on, very few cars use that mechanism because it's integrated into the seats. So most likely we'll get it serviced, and there won't be any OEM parts for that. We just have to order new from BMW, which is going to cost a lot, and then I have no idea what's the cost yet, but I presume it's going to cost a lot. So get it serviced, and we'll see how. Alright, so the BMW is in Prestige. So yeah, this one goes to SISMA. A lot of people ask me, hey Bobby, you go SISMA now, you don't go Prestige anymore. You have to understand this, especially popular workshops, they are jam-packed. So sometimes I encourage everybody who's like me and you love cars, you should have a few workshops that you can regularly visit. A, if B isn't free, visit C and all that. So you get your cars out sooner, alright? And yeah, I'm happy with both sides. But of course, SISMA is more corporate, because they came from, what is that? Something under my car? Was there a sound just now? Or did I hear it wrongly, or it was another car nearby? I don't feel anything now. Crap. Oh well, that's how it is.
Let no bitch keep eyeing me. Ride with them bars, voila. Check you and me. Into your job. Word is the name. Been ballin' in the chain. Turn on photo watch. He plain chain.